like that feeling, like I'm the expert at this. And, I just didn't like it. I didn't like the pressure that it brings. And it's just like you can just have a very simple and stress free life. You don't have to be like everybody's coming to you for everything, that they're looking to you to be perfect, right? And that's one thing that I didn't want to do. I was just watching something online and it just really kind of not necessarily disturbed me, but it just really didn't sit right in my spirit, in my heart. And it just let me know that everything that I'm doing is going as it should go. When things are not working out for you, they seem to be falling apart. Everything or everyone is against you. You just step back. I had to make a shift in my own life, and I had to say, oh, I don't want to do this big thing, right? And at first I just thought, you're quitting. You're quitting again, right? Because I've quit things. Oh, I'm doing this. Now I'm not doing that anymore. And then so I didn't want to look a certain way. I didn't want to say, oh, here she goes again, stopping, and then she's going to show us something else and start something else. But I had to give myself permission to not do a thing because it was stressful. And I had to learn that when I'm in a position, not necessarily of power, but when everybody's looking at me to be the savior, I don't like that. I don't like that feeling, like I'm the expert at this. And, I just didn't like it. I didn't like the pressure that it brings. And it's just like you can just have a very simple and stress-free life. You don't have to be like everybody's coming to you for everything, that they're looking to you to be perfect, right? And that's one thing that I didn't want to do. Is like, don't look at me to be this perfect person because, I cuss. I do all of the things, right? So, if I come online and I say something and you don't like it, then you're in my inbox. So I just thought, no, I'm just going to be myself. And then I don't have to be a public figure. I can just be Michelle at the pace that I want to be, do the things that I want to do at the pace that I want to do them. And, if people want to rock with me, they can rock with me. If they don't have to, right? So when I saw this thing online, and I'm not going to say who the person is or anything, I just like, you know what? You have a good life, Michelle. You can curate your life to be whatever you want it to be and at the pace that you want it to be. Your life doesn't have to be, oh, I gotta go. I gotta make money. I gotta be online all the time. I have to, schedule my life out so much that I don't make time for me, right? I don't have to do that. I can just, when I leave work today, I can just go home and not do anything. Right? Like I said the other day, I can just go home, sit down and drink some water, and that's fine. So I am hoping for this person that they just go home and they drink some water. And then that's fine. That's all you have to do. Just be with yourself and not try to, fill a quota or make someone happy or, because things are trending this way, now you've got to go this way. Or you see that everybody likes this, so now you're going that way. your life can only go on so long that way, then when you don't have any more energy and that's what you built your life on, but now you want to just go sit down and drink some water, you can't. You can't just go go and sit and drink the water, because why? People are looking for you to keep them at that temperature, right? They're expecting you to keep everything hot all the time. And just think, when you get in your 40s and your 50s and your 60s, if you do not have that energy, then 70, 80, 90, right? Are you still going to be doing this same thing? Or are you going to say, you know what? I'm going to set my life up so that I don't have to do any of that. I'm going to do what I need to do early on so that if I want to sit down, I can sit down. And I've learned from this. I've done some things in my life. It's just like, ooh, girl, now what you gonna do? You didn't have no plan. Now you need a plan. So now that I have this plan, and my life is nowhere perfect, but I notice that I'm more at peace when I don't commit to everything, when I don't say yes to everything, when I don't let people determine what I'm going to be doing, and all of that. I am in control of the outcome, and so I can participate or not participate. So this wasn't about books, but it's just that, when you see something and you just think, where am I at? Because where they're at, I don't want to be, right? And so I had to really reflect on, man, you'll think that you want to be rich or you want to be famous, or, all the things that you didn't have, you want to have. But what is it costing you to have that thing? Have the riches and the fame and, all the pretty stuff. But if you just had your peace of mind, nobody knocking on your door, creditors calling you, or, arguing with somebody that you've been arguing with for years, right? Being at odds with somebody, you go into a place and every time the same thing always happens, but nothing ever changes. It's like, okay, well, what about me? Do I need to change? What do I need to do with me, right? One of my coaches, Stacy Henry Carr, I love her. She basically said something to me, and it's like, I was bothered by something, right? I had seen something online, and I'm just like, I don't know why this bothers me so much. She said, Michelle, look at yourself, right? She says, just look back at yourself. And I just thought, yeah, I do not want to be that, so it really bothers me. But I still need to go back and look at me and see, why was it so painful to watch this whole thing transpire, right? I could just not look, or I could just deal with whatever it was, right? So I always have to go back to Michelle. Everything just can't be everybody else out in the world. It's something going on with me, right? That I was bothered by that thing. So we're always addressing stuff. We're always, I don't know, I'm never going to get this light, right? We're always addressing stuff. We'll go to our grave working on ourselves, right? I'm hopeful for that I have the mind to always be working on me, my mental health, my emotions, where I'm at with people, situations, things that are going on, because something's going to happen. There's always going to be things happening. It's how do I deal with them? How do I handle those things that bother me? Yeah. So I guess this was supposed to be what it was supposed to be for today, right? Not bringing you any books, any of that. Just chatting it up with you out here back at Preservation Park, just sitting on the stairs, just reflecting, right? And just thankful that I'm able to break it down and put it back to me and say, are you in that space? Were you in that space? Yeah, I was in that space. And no, I don't want to be in that space anymore, right? Ooh, because it's painful. It's painful to watch someone struggle. Yeah, to watch them struggle. And you know the answer, right? And you've gotten out of that situation and you want to help them, but you know that they need to go through the process. They need to learn in order to grow, to be better for themselves, right? So we're all in the same boat. Some of us rowing it frontwards, forwards, and some of us rowing it backwards. Yeah. Talk to you later. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing this video. Take care.